Welcome to the mid-September edition of Michigan Gardener. Out in the garden today, I noticed my eggplants are ready, or at least a bunch of them are, and we're going to harvest those, and I'll show you what to do with them. I've got some serious porkers to harvest here, and that makes me pretty happy because I love eggplant. And there's a bunch of things you can make out of this, and I'll tell you a few of my favorites. The first being baba ganoush, and there's a video by Kenji Lopez Alt that has a really good method of preparing it, and I get good results with it, so I'll link to that in the description. The other thing that I really like to make with this is something called Sultan's Delight, which is a Turkish dish. And I also like another dish called Swooning Imam. These are all Turkish dishes that are really, really tasty. And someday I'll make a video on how to make those. But all of these recipes start with eggplant that has been softened. And the way that I like to soften that is by chucking these onto a charcoal grill for a while and cooking them until they're soft and blackened, and you'll get a nice smoky flavor. I've taken and washed these off. We're just going to chuck them on the grill here. And there's probably enough heat in here that I can just close this and close the vents, and these will cook as the day goes by here. I don't need them right now anyway. I also have a few more cucumbers. If I have enough, I might make some more pickles. I guess we'll see. I got to check my other plants. The other thing that I need these for is we're having gyros tonight, and I want to make some tzatziki sauce. Typically that sauce is better with English cucumbers, and these are like a pickling variety, but I think they'll serve the purpose. Well, I think this Scotch Bonnet plant is ready to harvest for the most part, and these peppers are kind of special to me because the seeds from this came from a lady that her family owns a mountain in Haiti, and I was there for this last earthquake, and we stayed with her and helped her do health care to the surrounding community. So she gave me some peppers, there's some seeds from her pepper plants, and this one turned out to be darn vigorous, so I'm going to save some of the seeds from this for next year. But the other thing you can do with these Scotch bonnets is you can take these and make Haitian food. So one dish, and actually my favorite food, bar none, in the entire world is Haitian rice and beans. And so to make that, you would make in a piece and get some kidney beans, or if you have some other kind of beans that they use in Haiti, you would use those, but most commonly I've seen it with dark red kidney beans, and mix it up. I'm not going to go into huge detail because there's plenty of videos from actual Haitians on how to make that, and I kind of want them to get the revenue from that. The other thing you can make with these is pickles, which is cabbage, shredded carrot, sometimes onion, and a couple shredded Scotch bonnets with salt and vinegar, and that's served pretty much at every meal. It's like a Haitian coleslaw, for lack of a better term. You even eat it for breakfast. It's super good. And then probably what I'm going to do, since I have so many of these peppers, and I've frozen some from earlier this year from this plant, is I think I'm going to take some of these and ferment them using a 5% salt, ferment them after you chop them up in a food processor, and then turn it into a hot sauce, a fermented hot sauce from Haitian Scotch Bonnets. So I've got big plans for these particular veggies.
Okay, we're gonna tie up and dry some oregano. This is a 2-person job. We're gonna try it a little different way.
Good and tight? Yep. And then tie a square knot. Here, I'll help you. There.
All right, and then we're just gonna cut it off in the pot. Easy peasy.
Hang it right.
We're gonna hang this upside down and use it later.
Well, sadly, I must announce that my Loufa gourd experiment was a complete bust. We didn't get a single gourd, although maybe it's starting one right here. The issue has been that we get flowers, but they, for whatever reason, we needed more plants or something. They're just not getting fertilized. So there we have it for this year. We'll try again next year, but I'm going to do something a little different. And sadly, the rest of the vegetable garden is kind of, hey puppy, winding down as well. I waited for my jalapenos to turn red, because what I'll do is I'll make a slit in each of these. What's the matter? And smoke them to turn them into chipotles. And my Peruvian, these are, I'll show you. These are what's called Aji Amarillo. It's a Peruvian pepper. These are used like all the time in Peruvian cuisine, and I have a few plants. I think I'll freeze these and just use them as needed. The other thing you can do is take these and turn them into a paste, which is the other way they use them. So the path you're on, we kind of want to come into these woods. We've gotten most of it cleaned out. There's still a little bit to do in scattered places, but you can see kind of the effect that we were going for. The interesting thing about this is the weird shaped tree trunks, and all of that was being obscured by a bunch of little trees. So the path would naturally want to go right through here, and in order to do that, we need to move this hosta and get started on our path. Generally speaking, on Michigan Gardener, we take a very dim view of this kind of fabric stuff. But in this specific instance, we're going to use it temporarily to kill weeds and stuff, because we need to make a path. This here is a glyphosate-based weed killer, and this stuff is like super powerful, so you only want to get it exactly where you want it. So I'll pump this up, but then what we're going to do is just right in front of the fabric spray this stuff, and Gretchen's going to unroll it as we go here. You don't want this getting on anything that you want to keep. And every so often, we'll put in a couple pegs so that this gets held down real nice. But we're going to get quite a bit of it done, and to go through this woods and look natural, it's going to have to curve. So we've pinned down here, and I think if we just give a cut to the fabric.
Show me how far.
Yeah, keep going. We should be able to make this do a nice gentle turn. Yeah, a little bit more. There, that's good. And then by doing this, I mean, it's going to bunch up some places. You're going to put a little poker in there. We should be able to gradually kind of turn this around to form a nice path going this way. One of the reasons I wanted to get started with this path right now as opposed to later is it being September, late summer, early fall. This is a good time to plant Trillium. Now Trillium, there's a bunch of different subspecies, but it's basically a native woodlands plant to Michigan. The one that we used to have on our property up north was a white Trillium, so it'd be Trillium grandiflorum. And that's a protected plant. You can't move it. And then I'm also going to plant some red Trillium, just kind of past these trees along the path to, you know, give some color. The red Trillium is Trillium erectum, and don't be laughing back there, we're all adults. They come as bare tubers, so I'll show you. It comes as like a little plug or a tuber, and your flowers will grow from this. And we want to plant these each about 2 to 3 inches deep. I'll show you that. And these woodlands like this are actually the perfect environment. This is where you would find these growing naturally. And it's, you know, we've got centuries of leaves that have fallen and formed like a real rich soil, and that's absolutely perfect for Trillium. So, a couple inches down and cover it up. We're going to do white on this side of the path and red on the other, so that there's at least some sort of order to everything. And everywhere where we plant one of these, we're going to put a little white marker so that we know what is there. I've decided to do a fall planter. Usually the only thing that I like to grow that's an annual is vegetables, but maybe I'll step out of the mold a little bit here, and I think I'm going to put a vegetable in here. Along with some other stuff. So I have a mix of soil here. This is my usual good draining stuff. It's got grit and just kind of a general purpose potting compost. I think most of these plants like really good drainage. So the general principles of these planters seems to be to try and get things in and then get them arranged the way you like. This here is a grass called purple fountain grass, and that's going to act as the pillar, so that the height gives a little different texture, and this will, over the winter, will still continue to look good for quite a while. And then the next thing that we want to put in is something a little bit showier, so the thriller, and this is a celosia, and it too has a nice interesting texture, making use of that. And we'll definitely want something to spill out, but before we do that, as kind of my little protest against planting things that are annuals that aren't vegetables, I'm going to plant these chili peppers in there, and this is a variety called chili. It's an ornamental pepper. I don't think you're supposed to eat these, and I think I'll put that like over here. And then I've got some plants that are likely to kind of spill out the sides. This is a thing called caterpillar candy, and I think we'll do something like that. And we'll step back and look at this, and this one here is a little bit different. This is called Ace of Spades, and this should also spill out the pot a bit. We can find room. But let's have a look and see. I might reduce the size of this one a little bit. I may split this before I put it in. But yeah, I like there's some contrasting colors in there, there's different textures, different leaf shapes, and I do like those peppers, but I'm gonna have to reduce the size of this caterpillar candy to make that look decent, and so I think I'll do that real quick. Gretchen's helping put some dirt in. I reduced the size of this butterfly or caterpillar candy down to reasonable, and that'll spill, and so will this. My peppers back there is my protest to annual plants. You might notice too that she changed up this planter, and if you get a planter that you don't like the way it looks, just change it. These pots are expensive and you want to make maximum use out of them. She added in some chrysanthemums, some pansies. This canna has been there forever, that's the height, and this spiller has been there forever. What's this purple thing?
Celosia.
So it's just a little bit different than this yellow celosia that I put in. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's going to look nice. I suppose we could put right here some pansies. There's a little space there. Maybe I'll put in a couple plugs of pansies. I think they'll be overpowered by the rest of the thing, but I guess since we have them, we might as well use them in the center there, right? What do you think?
I think it's good the way it is.
You sure?
Yeah.
You don't think, well, I guess this will fill out, huh? Yeah, this will spread back in there and fill out a little bit. All right, well, I think that's going to have to be it for the mid-September edition of Michigan Gardener. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you are getting on with your gardening and canning. We're at the very end of vegetables here. I think by October we'll be completely done. Don't eat that pepper. Anyway, we'll catch you in October. Bye.